Yes, look there. Your footsteps are too loud for this library. Walk quietly. Oh, goodness me. Excuse me. You're just gonna stand there aimlessly with all of those books there. Can't you see I'm trying to do something? I'm the librarian. I have lots of important things to do rather than serve you. Perhaps you should go and read some of the books and look at some books, okay? Quietly, of course. Don't make a sound, otherwise you'll be out. I don't wish to disturb all of the other people here. What do you mean there's no one else here? Well, just in case someone else does come in here, I do not wish the library to be loud at all because it is a quiet library. Quiet, quiet, quiet for people to relax and immerse themselves in educated books, fictional or non-fictional. Excuse me there. No. You, there. No. Take that phone away from your head there. What on earth do you think you are doing? You weren't going to speak on your telephone there, were you? It looked as if you were bringing it up to your head there to speak to someone. You do realise that this is a library. Nice and quiet in this library, please, and especially no mobile telephones in this library. Do you understand? Okay, no telephones whatsoever. Don't make me see you with that phone again. You can have books in your hand, okay? Right, no telephones. Okay. Oh my goodness me. Hello there. Hello there. Ah. Hello. Oh, so you bought those new books in for me. Oh, excellent. Yeah, you did give them that really low price, didn't you? Great. And they are very, very expensive, well thought after books, those ones, and make sure you bring them in the library and we will loan them out at an extortionate price. Well, they are exceptional books after all. So, how much? Hello there. Hello there. Hello. Hello there. Hello. Do you hear me? Excuse me. May I ask why you are still standing there with all of those books? What, have you never seen a traditional telephone communication device before? Well, might I suggest that you change that gormless look on your face and perhaps go about your business in the library? I'm a busy librarian trying to write my memoirs. Oh, you wish to return those books. Do forgive me. You should have said to begin with. That's quite a collection of books that you've got there. Yes. Did you mean to actually take out that many books on loan? It's just that we have a policy in this library that you're not actually meant to take out more than 5 books at a go within a 4-day period. You look like you've got quite the collection there. No. Well, naturally you would think to bring them up and put them on my desk, but this is my desk. Librarian's desk is never to be approached, never to be touched, never to be handled with other person's books, unless it's the librarian's. So if you would be an absolute gem, perhaps you could just take those books there, and just put them down the side of the desk here for me. Yeah, I mean that looks far too heavy for. Not too close, not too close. It looks quite heavy, doesn't it? Yeah, so if you would just go back around the desk, please, and stand in a designated area for me, for people who use this library. Thank you. Well, first of all, may I say hello there and welcome to the library. However, it looks like you have already visited the library and indeed taken some books out for your own enjoyment. So what sort of literature have you been indulging yourself in? Something educational, I expect, to heighten your knowledge, self-preservation, to reach limits of thought that you didn't think possible. Those sort of books. Philosophical? No? Mathematical? Enhance your own literature? No. Well, I'll have a look here and make sure that all of these books are checked in on time, so you don't need to clarify. Right, so have you done all this before at the library? Oh, it's a very relaxing process. I do ask though that if you intend to speak, just don't, because it's a library and we try to keep it extra quiet. We have a lot of very important people in this library as well who want to enhance their own knowledge. So nice and quiet. And what I do say for particular individuals, like yourself actually, is that if you don't mind that you don't actually look at any of the people in this library in the eyes, or don't stare at what they're doing, just in case they see you, because you're not dressed at all smart, very casually actually, and that could be very off-putting for someone who's sitting in this library in a leather chair and trying to read a book or any other book that could be of interest to them. So if you would be so kind, just in case someone walks in, a little precursor for you. Excellent. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take the books out here. Okay. Let's see what we've got here. Okay, so you've opted for books of perhaps a younger audience, is it? Yeah. I use the term book very, very sparingly there. This is Star Wars fact, but so you're looking for fiction, basically, and a bit of sci-fi. There was me thinking, you're dressed so smartly. My goodness, no. There was me thinking that you're dressed so casually and not so smartly that perhaps your books that you have taken out are indeed of an intellectual basis. But of course, what was I thinking? Giving you the benefit of the doubt, you have opted for books which are very much more suited for you. A little bit of a nerd sort of book, isn't it? Yes. Okay, so I'm going to have a look at this book and I'm going to check the quality and condition of this particular book here. So, upon examination here, all of the pages seem like they're still in good condition. Okay, check the binding at the back. Can we have a little meticulous check here? And especially with persons like you, we want to make extra sure that these books are in perfect condition. Okay, oh, there are some fingerprints on there. Right, okay, I'm just going to look at the back of the book here and make sure there's no inscriptions in here. Nothing in there. Right, that's just the first test. So now I take out my learning book. Okay. And what was your name? That was 4 days ago. How have you got so many books? 4 days ago. I would never let you out with 4 books. Oh, it's someone with short hair and nice. Oh, what do you mean nice? Right. So your name there. My goodness, you've got so many books. So this particular one, and you do have different times here. I notice the Star Wars book and 100 scenes and in good condition. Right. Okay. So means that gets a stamp there. Okay. And then what we do is place that there. Take that book out there, put the book here, and give it a little stamp there. That just tells me now that this book is suitable to be put back in the library after that loan. Okay, so that is the process. It's a very relaxing process, but it can take a little bit of time in the library, dependent on, of course, how amenable you are with this process. Now, if you can remember, nice and quietly, great. So, we have some books here. And what do we have here? Middle-earth traveller books, sketches from Back End to Mordor, from the artist John Howe. Well, at least that is somewhat educational for you, even though it's still fantasy. That is the right sort of fantasy. And then we have the Lord of the Rings sketchbook by Alan Lee, one of the main conceptual artists, an artist for Lord of the Rings. Okay, so this is a book depicting that, so that's 2 very renowned artists that you got there. And of course the Hobbit version as well. And this is Alan Lee also, and this is a nice educational book as well. So because they're similar books and they'll be going in the right place, we're going to do a 3-book check with these 3 books here before we put them back. And don't worry, I'll be nice and meticulous to make sure that we don't have to send a ludicrous fine in your direction. I don't know if you've checked the small print before you come to the library, but of course you get to, well, not only do you get to own the books, if there's anything wrong with it, you have to pay about quadruple the amount of the book that was purchased for this library, just as a replacement and other replacements for good measure. Okay, so I'm going to take the Hobbit sketchbook here and have a little look here at the top. Okay, at the top here, the book, that's looking good. And open the book up here and look at the pages. Have a nice look at the pages. Looking in good condition, suitable. Okay, yeah, no, that's looking fine. Just another quick look here, looking suitable, and in a fairly decent condition. That is surprising. Right, so I'm going to check the binding here. That's looking okay. That's looking okay. And then, of course, checking for any inscriptions from you by mistake. Nothing there. Any inscription there? No, that's fine. That can be sent off. That's the first one. Next, we have the Lord of the Rings version. So we're going to check the binding. Check the binding in good condition. A little bit used. Check all of the pages here. Checking the pages. That's all looking fine. We're going to have another look here. Checking all of the pages here. Have a nice look at all of the pages, right? And that's looking good. So, binding's in good condition. Okay, the case is in fairly good condition. A little bit of fraying here. A little bit, I think that's from our side of the library here, though. Okay, there are some fingerprints on here. Okay, I've noticed, but that's okay. Now checking for any inscriptions in the first pages. You'd be surprised how many inscriptions there tend to be in books after someone has loaned them. People like yourself, they can't help themselves. Okay, that's looking very suitable there as well. So 2 books to pass the test there. Now let's have a look at the Middle Earth Traveller book here, and making sure that this is in top condition. Sketches from John Howe here, so let's have a nice look at this particular book. You can come and have a nice look as well if you wish. Okay, checking the pages, checking the pages, checking the pages. Lovely illustrations, mind you. Yes, checking the pages, and yep, that's okay. There, another check over here, just to double check that everything is looking as it should. Brand new condition, pretty much. I don't want anyone in the library to think that we don't have books that are brand new looking all the time. Like those, I want to loan them. Right, check the binding here. Good condition, good condition. Check the binding here. Good condition, good condition. Okay, that's looking very suitable. And for inscriptions, any inscriptions there? No. Any inscriptions there? No. Well, I actually have read these particular fantasy style books, but they are somewhat educational. It breaches the void between fantasy, art, and of course education, which is of paramount importance here in the library. It's about learning. It's about learning new things, finding out new things, and appreciating talent. Okay, so those are 3 books there. So we're going to make sure that they've all been taken out at the right time. So what are 3 there? Okay. 1. Oh, there we go. 2, 3. This was 4 days ago as well. And you think you've read those books in 4 days, do you? Right, okay. I don't actually believe you there, but okay. Okay, so what I'm going to need here is a stamp. Just to mark that one off there, okay. For those 3, well, let's do the 3 then. Another 3 returned there, and what I'll do is just get our stamp and open our book, just to make sure everybody knows this is property of the library. And the Middle Earth Traveller. Good. Well, it looks as if it's so far so good. You have returned those books in the condition which we like here in the library, in brand new condition, and no other condition. Of course, you got that fine. So let's see what else we've got here. Don't make me see you look at that mobile telephone again. Okay, like I said, no phones in the library. My goodness, what you have here, I don't even know we did a section like this in the library. So I assume you're in the fictional area and the fantasy section. Usually that's full of cobwebs because a lot of people who come in here are quite educated and they go for educational books of some sort. Yeah, but the fancy area, but that's of course fine that you go there. Oh, I see. So this is about the making of that Harry Potter studio tour thing, and that book includes basically your visit there. I see. No, that's perfectly fine. So this kind of like the illustrations in the Lord of the Rings book. books there from Alan Age on how it's kind of an educational thing. So you have the taint of it being fantasy. Not that I'm going to charge you, of course, just a little bit, but there's a little bit of education placed into this book, so you will perhaps gain something from it. And I hope you are extra careful with this, because I'm not sure if you know this from our particular library book, but the students of learning and this library know that if you went for this fantasy book, then you'll notice it was signed by Warwick Davis. Yes, indeed, I did go to the tour actually myself and saw him and got it signed myself. But from an educational point of view, I hope you understand. So, yes, it is a nice book of the tour, and I hope you are extra careful with it. Now, this book, I don't know, you had a little fee for loaning it, but because handling it, you didn't see that fee. This is a special handling fee book, and we want to make sure this is in pristine condition because it's signed. Well, I know it's not what you signed up for, but it's small print and all. Okay, so I'm going to check the pages here. Checking the pages. Checking the pages. Checking the pages. Okay, that's good. I'm going to be checking the pages here. Checking the pages. Checking the pages. Checking the pages here. That's looking fine. Checking the pages here. Right. Well, that's looking all right. So I'm going to look at the last page. Any other inscriptions here? And of course, I've made an inscription here, but nothing else, which has ruined it. So, yeah, they're very, very good. Yes, very good, very good. So that's all looking good to me. I'll check the binding. It's a little bit different from a normal book, but just as important, make sure there's no creases or anything on there, which of course is not what we want. That's looking fine to me. It passes. Right. Let's get a little book open here. So, this baffles me because it says here you had this book on loan 2 weeks ago. However, you failed to bring it back within that time period. What do you mean the person said you can have an extended loan on it? I was not that person, was I? And because I was not that person, I'm afraid that is void. So, there's a little note here. Given extra time for this book, due to their sense of interest in reading inside the nicest library. Right, I'll let you off that one. Okay, that's fine. So I'm going to give that a little stamp here. Okay. Stamp that one off. Just to sign it off, basically. Okay, that's perfectly fine. And then we're going to get our first page here and stamp that just so we know the loan time here. Good. So I'm going to place that book there. So, shall I delve into the other books that you had bought, and am I going to be as disappointed in your selection of them, or am I going to be surprised that you might have something interesting in there? Well, I won't get my hopes up, let's put it that way. Right, let's have a look. Turns out that you have quite an interesting book here. What did you do? Opt for one of the biggest books that you could possibly find in our library, probably because they have the biggest pictures in there. Well, I hope that you thought again, because if Middle Ages book, you'll probably have illustrations like this, but of course the pictures are more like Bayeux tapestry style pictures. Yeah, I see. So this lies a little bit in the realm of contention with me, purely because it's an old book. It's an old book that we've had here in the library. Many educated people have come in and taken it out and read it and enjoyed it and bought it back. Because of that, there are the small acts of wear and tear potentially with this book, which will make it somewhat difficult to know whether you have looked after it properly or not. So you would feel like that probably makes you feel a little bit more relaxed, wouldn't you? Yeah, good. So I'd like to lull you into a full sense of security there, into a full sense of relaxation there, because I actually have these things written down on books that have been loaned out. So I know the exact quality. Refer to page 364. Okay, and there we go. Right, so I know all of the little details in here which I'm looking out for this book, just to make sure, okay? Not that I'm going to be meticulous or trying to make sure that I make a nuisance of myself, but I'd like to make sure that all pages are suitable and this book has been looked after. So let's have a look at this book here, making sure all of the pages are in a great condition. So we're going to be checking the pages, checking the pages, checking the pages. Lots of history in this book, an awful lot to learn. All the illustrations looking fine, pages all looking okay and well used and well loved. A lot of research has been used with this book. Going through all of it, lots of medieval information, lots of medieval stories and lots of medieval architecture in here. Very lovely, all looking good. The illustrations all looking fine. Yeah, the pages look in the right condition as it was sent out. Incredibly lucky for you. We're just going to have another check here. Just going to protect the binding, which I hope is something that you do when you take the book out yourself. Checking the pages, 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 checking the pages. Right. So a very important part now of a book like this is checking the binding here. So an old book, a heavy book, we must make sure it's in the best condition possible. So the cover has sealed somewhere into there. However, it is what is matched what I have written down, so that's fine, that's fine. Okay, that's alright there. Checking, no inscriptions on the first page, good. Inscriptions on the last page, good. Well, it's apparent to me that this book checks out for you, which I'm sure you will be pleased to hear yourself. Okay, so let me just update the book here. I don't want it to be on page 364 anymore. There we go, that was your one. Okay, just write that off. We seem to have a little irregularity here. You actually took this book out 3 months ago. 3 months ago. Oh, it was a long-term loan. Oh, and you paid for it. Oh, good. Right, no, that's fine. Get that all checked in there now. Okay, so get that stamp that off right there. Okay. Now we get our other stamp here. And just on the first page here. Okay, we got the library page. And inscripted. And stamp. There we go. So it certainly is a large book which you had on loan. I see why you were struggling a little bit to carry all of those books there. It's quite the collection you got there. So you've got quite a mixture of books which you had loaned from the library here, don't you? So you have some factual books, you have fiction, non-fiction, you have educational, not so educational, you have fantasy, more fantasy, I'd call those picture books. So let's see what else that you have brought in to return back to the library then, shall we? Oh, I see. We are back on your fantasy world books here. I see. Right. Okay. Not in the very best of condition, these, because they are old books. However, have you put them in this condition? We will see, of course. So we've got one. Okay. And this is the visual dictionary for episode 1 of Star Wars. And then we have a visual dictionary for episode 3 of Star Wars. And then we have a visual dictionary from the original Star Wars movies. And I think maybe that would be just 4, 5, and 6. Okay. 50p. No. And then we have episode 2, a visual dictionary of Attack of the Clones. So you've got quite the collection here. Did you just feel like you wanted to look at some pictures or something? Something that wasn't actually real? Is that why you wanted to learn these? I don't think I've ever seen anybody in this library come to take out or learn these books. I think I have seen children of very wealthy individuals in this library who go to that section and pull out these books. Well, when I read them all and when I go there and have a look, when I dust them off, I could see the appeal for them. So this is going to be a look from these books here, and just to check that this is going to be an acceptable returned condition. But a little bit of a frame there, but don't worry, I know they're old and that's what they were originally like. Oh, what have we got here? Something interesting, I hope. Wow, look at this. Well, no offense, but I thought that perhaps someone like you would take this out at your discretion and not return it and perhaps stick it on your wall. So that is something, of course. Good. I'm pleased to see that. Okay. So let's just have a look at the pages in here. So we can just check the pages here, check the pages. The pages will fine. Check the pages. Check the pages. Check the pages. Checking the pages. Same again on the other side. Checking the pages here. Checking the pages. Checking the pages. Checking the pages. Right. That's looking okay. So this was put together by Dr. West Reynolds. This is a very, very interesting book. If this was real, this would be very detailed and lots of information in there. However, it's not. So whatever you believe it to be, it's not actually the case. Okay, but still a very interesting sort of book if you like this sort of thing. Okay, so that's all looking fine. The binding, have a look at the binding. Look at the binding, that's all right there. Look at the binding, that's okay there. So I think that's a pass. Right, let's do this chronologically, shall we? Let's look at episode 2 here. Okay, so we've got episode 2 book here. And notice there isn't actually a sleeve with this particular version because it didn't go out with one, that's why. Okay, so I'm going to check the binding. Okay, David West Reynolds, Doctor Action. Okay, check the binding, that's fine. It's a little bit grubby on the outside, but still, that's fine, that's fine, that's fine. So, page check. Let's have a look at the pages here, checking the pages, checking the pages. Lots of visual, interesting things here. Almost how they put together costumes and props, so that I suppose it is a little bit educational here for you. Okay, that seems fun. My goodness, the binding. Again, the pages there. Acceptable. Okay, and now, oh look, the sleeve has managed to appear again. Okay, so we're gonna look at checking here, check the binding to begin with. It's in a fine condition, a little bit of fraying around the sleeve there. Right. There's no inscription there. No inscription there. There wasn't on the other one. This is a different author now. Okay, just checking the pages here. All seems like it checks out to me. It's an old book, but it checks out. Checking the pages, right. Okay, I think no inscriptions in there. That is another suitable return there. And the visual dictionary. 50p is yeah, don't worry, that's not what we bought the book for all those years ago. Or maybe it was, and maybe we'd loan it out at extortionate rates. Okay, so we're going to check the pages here, check the pages, all the original things from this movie. This is kind of like gold dust to Star Wars fans. Okay, checking the pages, lots of interesting things in here, original pictures. Very nice. It's an older book, but this one also checks out. No inscriptions on the front, no inscriptions on the back. So that is looking like it passes as well. So congratulations, 4 books of yours have received a pass there to merit their way into the library once more for return. So 6 months ago you loaned out these books. You're telling me that we have not had these books in the library for 6 months? Yes, I know that I said there's cobwebs gathering over there and no one goes there, but that's not the point. It hasn't been in the library for 6 months. You've been paying for those 6 months? Oh, well, normally we don't loan out for that long, but because you've been paying for that time, it's an exception. Right, well, let's get a little stamp on there. Okay. And let's stamp it in the book here. And then we will give all of these the page 1 returned library book stamp. Okay. So place that there. Okay. So let's give that a stamp there. There we go. 4 more books returned safely back to the library. So I believe that's all of your books which have been returned safely back to us now, which of course is good because we don't wish to loan books out for people like you for too long, just because you don't look like the sort of person who looks after them very well, even though those are all in pristine condition in the way that it was previously sent to you. So I'm just going to check this box here of returns just to make sure that none of them are yours. Okay, I'm just checking this larger book here. So was this one of yours that you had loaned out as well? No, I only ask because this is a medieval one as well. This is the Normans. Okay. Okay, so, and of course you could learn something from this particular book. So I wouldn't say it's part of your collection because you probably learn quite a lot from this book. However, you have got that medieval one in there already, so it makes me wonder. So if this one isn't yours, just to check. No, that's perfectly fine. There. We have this book here. A lot of Star Wars fans in the library recently. Did you have this one out on loan? No, that's fine. It's a great book there, mint condition. So you have DK Publishing again, and actually that was okay. So looking here, was this one of yours? No, that's perfectly fine. Right, no, so place this one here. And oh dear. I didn't realise we did these sorts of books in the library. This looks like it's actually a sticker book for children. Okay, you sure you didn't have this one out on loan? Are you absolutely sure? Well, at least it hasn't been filled out. Okay, although, even though it says it's a sticker book. Alright, so it does include the stickers in here as well. And you'd be surprised the amount of people that take these books out and they would actually just take off the stickers there as well and not bring them back to the library. Okay, so there we go. So that's from A New Hope. So I think that is fine for you, and we can officially check you out. No, you don't just leave like that. I need an inscription from you. So have you got a pen on you? What? What do you mean you don't have a pen upon your person? What kind of person are you who doesn't possess a pen upon your person? Right, pens are very personal things to possess upon your person. So I'm going to lend you mine now, so you're able just to sign this off. This is a very personal pen that I got from the pen shop. Okay, so try not to ruin it. So if you can just turn the page 300 there and bear your signature just to sign it all off for me. Okay. I'll hold the book. I'll hold the book for you, don't worry. Yeah, so take the pen up. Just sign there for me. Thank you very much. Take that pen back. There we go. Well, there you have it. I hope that you've enjoyed your time here at the library and you found it quite an educational process as well as quite relaxing. I am the librarian here. You can feel free to come back and visit me and relax in our luxurious library. Pick some books out, listen to some audiobooks in the audiobook section, for which your library access and your pass will be revoked because this is for reading, not listening to audiobooks. But you can come here and relax whenever you wish. Yeah, so do come back and see us soon and spend more money with us. Okay, I've taken out more books, but apart from that, thank you for returning your books. That is quite refreshing to see. Thank you so much. Take care of yourself. Cheerio. When you walk out with your footsteps, they were quite loud, so